Well, indeed, good afternoon. Welcome. This is KTN Business Today. My name is Peter Okab, and your daily dose of insight into the world of business starts right here, right now. Now, today, of course, it is just 10 days to the budget. What exactly are the perspectives that are coming out of different parts of the economy in relation to this? Today, we have for you various analyses, various sentiment as regards the various, different inputs that have been put out so far in regards to the upcoming budget conversation. We will have experts here to try and dissect that for you, including, of course, the fact that there has been, varied opposition to the perspectives that have been put out there in regards to the Income Tax Act for the year 2018. What exactly is your perspective? Of course, you can talk to us. You can reach out. The hashtag is KTN Business Today or KTN Business. You can, of course, tweet us on at KTN News or reach out to me directly on at Peter Akaba. The conversation continues. We will be, of course, looking at what the conversation is and talking to you variously. Of course, as ever, we want to start off with a quick look at what exactly the markets have been saying in terms of the Forex conversation. This, of course, is the Kenya shilling versus the various other currencies that are out there, the dollar, the pound, and the euro. Now, the dollar pegged at 101.28, 101.48, buying and selling levels respectively. The pound sterling pegged at 134.66, 134.96, buying and selling levels respectively, while the euro is currently trading at 118.01, 118.28, at buying and selling levels as well. Well, that is the conversation at the Forex market. Of course, these numbers have been put out by the Central Bank of Kenya and will vary slightly depending on which commercial entity you do go to make your Forex exchange, to buy your foreign exchange, buy your foreign currency. Now, to the market itself, these are the statistics from the last trading session. Turnover, 652 million shillings worth of shares bought and sold. Now, the shares traded 25.5 million shares bought and sold there. The NSE 20 share index pegged at 3,358.08 points, while bonds traded to the tune of some 1.9 billion shillings worth. Well, what have been the active stocks that have been driving that conversation? Safaricom, Equity Bank, Kenya Re, and Scan Group. Now, Safaricom moving 12.11 million shares, Equity Bank 2.62 million shares, Kenya Re 2.06 million shares. Well, Scan Group moved 1.71 million shares thus far. Now, these are the bulls and the bears of that trading session. Winning stocks of the day: Liberty, Kenya, Total, Kabasid, and Centum. Now, Liberty trending upwards 7.91% to 15 shillings flat, while Total trended upwards 7.09% to 34 shillings flat, and Kabasid 6.79% up to 11 shillings and 80 cents. Now, Centum up 5.96% to 40 shillings flat on the day. Now, losing stocks of the day: Earth River Mining Cement 2 shillings and 50 cents, having shed 15.52% there after the news emerged that they had gotten a qualified opinion out of their annual results. Umeme down 9.17% to 9 shillings and 90 cents. East Africa Cables shedding 9.09% to 4 shillings flat, and Olympia Capital down 8.33% to 2 shillings 75 cents. Well then, let's get down to it. Of course, well, you do realize that an effective monitoring and evaluation system is critical to realizing the objectives of various development programs, projects, and policies. And this more especially so in Kenya, where today we have been hearing about, well, financial leakages right, left, and center. How do you make sure that you are keeping track of the various projects that are being carried out using money that has been raised through taxation that is essentially your money? Well, to speak into that conversation, a gentleman here in the studio, the director, of monitoring and evaluation. He is from the ministry, from the State Department of Planning, rather, and will be engaging with us later on in the show to basically talk to us about what exactly they have been doing in regards to, well, enabling citizens be able to monitor, evaluate, check the progress on various programs that have been undertaken by the government in various places. We, of course, will be delving into that conversation later on in the show. Well, to the news now. An investment and credit risk solutions firm, Africa Trade Insurance Agency, ATI, overcame headwinds to post a profit of about 1 billion shillings for the period ending December 2017, which represents a 55% rise year on year on a comparable basis. Now, over the same period, gross written premiums hit 44.8 billion shillings. Now, speaking at a press conference to unveil the 2017 results, George Otieno, the Africa Trade and Insurance Agency's Chief Executive Officer, said that the repositioning of the company to provide even more support to its member countries across Africa, with a specific focus to help governments reduce their cost of borrowing and provide an alternative to raising foreign currency debt through bond markets or syndicated loans, had supported the company's stronger performance over that year.
Uninterrupted financial growth, despite a challenging business environment resulting from commodity price collapse that affected many African countries which are exporting commodities.
So if we look at the combined ratio for 2017, it has slightly increased compared to 2016. However, it remained at a very good level, 62%. A quick benchmark, if we look at the local industries combined ratio. I'm not sure that the 2017 figures have been already published by AKI, but if we look at 2016, the overall combined ratio for the insurance industry in Kenya was above 100%.
Well, again, just to remind you before we go on that Dr. Samson Machuka is here in studio. He is going to be talking to us about what exactly government has been doing in regards to enabling you keep track of the various projects that they have been undertaking. Now, moving on, staying in Turkana, the president has flagged off the first batch of trucks ferrying crude oil from Turkana County to the port of Mombasa, officially kicking off Kenya's early oil pilot scheme. The president reaffirmed his commitment towards ensuring oil revenues are equitably shared between locals and the national government. KTN's Abiagina was in Lokichar and filed the following report.
Truck trailers that will transport the oil to Mombasa.
The symbolic gesture of Kenya joining the League of Oil-Producing Countries came to life after President Uhuru Kenyatta flagged off the first consignment of crude oil at the Ngamia 8 well, marking a major milestone for East Africa.
This flag-off event and the anticipated implementation of the early oil pilot scheme marks the beginning of a long and fruitful journey.
You come here to write another chapter of history. Sisi sasa tumeingia kwa hiyo ligi ya mafuta.
A total of 2,000 barrels of oil will be trucked from Lokichar to Mombasa County for storage at the Kenya Petroleum Refinery. Transportation of the crude will see each truck carry about 150 barrels of oil. Local leaders have exuded confidence in the oil pilot program, which is expected to run for at least 2 years before Kenya can start commercial production of oil.
We have this early oil pilot project. As a country, is really an achievement. We know with oil, we go far. We know our economy has been down, but now with this, the cost of living will start coming down.
This is a day which we have long awaited as a country because it is historic. The first time ever this country will be exporting oil.
We are having high hopes that the prices of oil in Kenya will come down, and economic growth definitely is inevitable.
It is a good thing in the sense that now I think after some time it is going to help us even lower the price of fuel, and this is going to increase production in many ways.
British company Tullow Oil has been driving the oil exploration program for the last 6 years. The firm notes that the early oil pilot scheme is expected to give them an opportunity to conduct extended well testing to further test the quality of the oil, as well as bulk stock the crude for export.
Crucial milestone towards the fuller resource and the development of the country. Together we've achieved so much, but we have a long way to go.
Kenya's crude oil under the pilot scheme will not see the government generate any revenue until 2021, when full field development is scheduled to start once an oil pipeline is built. Although discovery of oil in Turkana County signals fresh hopes for many residents of Turkana who stand to secure jobs and better infrastructure, there have been simmering tensions around how revenues from the oil resource will be shared.
Katika hesabu ya county government bado iko hesabu ya kila mwananchi ambaye anaishi kwa county hii. Kwa hivyo mimi ni shukurani kubwa zaidi kwa jambo hilo ambalo liliondoa ile mzozo kubwa iliyoko.
Hizo hela zikiingia, mwanze kusema mwataka maji, mwataka shule, mwataka stima, mwataka barabara, mwataka biashara zenu ziinuliwe. Lakini sio kusema ati tugawe pesa hii, ati kila mtu achukue shilingi yake aweke kwa mfuko yake.
Well, after many years of marginalization, Turkana County is now on the global map, even as the first barrels of oil are set to be evacuated from Ngamia 8 here in Lokichar. This will be making a significant milestone for the oil production journey for Kenya, even as plans to set up an oil pipeline are in top gear. Reporting for KTN News, I'm Abi Agina in Turkana County.
Well, of course, to remind you that those trucks that were flagged off are expected to be in Mombasa within 5 days, and that we will keep track of each of them, each and every step on the way to bring you up to speed on what exactly has been happening with that journey. Now, the move to change the upper rate of taxation to 35% will make Kenya a less attractive destination for investment. Now, this is according to analysis by PKF audit consultants and tax advisors who say that the move will reduce Kenya's business competitiveness and erode gains that have been secured recently in the ease of doing business index. Take a look.
When he tabled the income tax 2018 last month, Treasury Secretary Henry Rotich hit Kenya's big earners with a 35% top tax rate in a bid to increase income tax revenues by some 68 billion shillings. The main targets were corporates making more than 9 million shillings in a year and individuals earning an income of 750,000 shillings and above in a month. PKF, however, says this will kill innovation amongst income-generating sectors. PKF also proposes an extension of amnesty of 6 months for the foreign income tax period to give chance to those willing to take advantage of the amnesty to do so. This is as a result of the prevailing lack of awareness of the amnesty and also to enable connection of feedback and proposed amendments. The increased time will help capture all taxpayers on iTax for purposes of wider future compliance. PKF also urged the government to concentrate on dealing with matters like corruption, political stability, service delivery, and investment climate. This will reduce wastage and revenue leakages, thus reducing pressure on the taxman to achieve ever-increasing targets. Julie Owino, KTN News.
Now, the national government is looking to invest over 40 billion shillings in building critical road infrastructure, even as oil exploration enters a new phase in Turkana County. Now, KTN's Begin had an exclusive interview with Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia on just how seamless connectivity can be achieved and what will be the impact on the economy.
CS, thank you for speaking to us on KTN. And just talk to us about the significance of this day.
Well, as you know, this is a day which we have long awaited as a country because it is historic. The first time ever this country will be exporting oil. A few years ago, this looked like a dream, but you can see it is possible. It's going to be possible today. That's why we are here, very excited that it's going to happen. And for us in the ministry, we came here to make sure that we facilitate in terms of transportation. You are aware because of the regional challenges we've had with rains, some bridges were swept away, in particular the Kainuk Bridge. So we came yesterday, my engineers have been camping here to make sure that by the time the tankers are flagged off, they can be able to cross the bridge. And at Kainuk, we have three options. We have the old bridge, which now has been fixed. We brought a better bridge from other places in the country. It's been fixed. We have tested it. It's carrying loads of up to 60 tons, so it will be able to accommodate the tankers you have seen here. Then we have the old drift, which was used when the flooding started. That also is being fixed. In the next 2 days, tankers also will be able to cross the drift, which has been raised by having AMCO culverts. And then the final solution is a long-term solution, which will be having a new bridge, 97 meters across, at a cost of 1.5 billion shillings. That's being done in a collaboration with the World Bank. Yes. And we have a top-class contractor, China Hainan, doing that particular construction. That will be completed in March next year. And I think by the time we have the next heavy rains, which will be in April next year, I think now what we've had this year will be a problem of the past. Yes.
And CS, just talk to us about the plans as a ministry you have in relation to the road sector in this region. We understand that a number of roads are still, actually they're in motorable condition, but a lot more needs to be done, especially now that we are seeing more activities happening here in Turkana.
Well, for once, let's start from Lezeru, which is before Kitare, up to Lokicha. That's a distance of about 297 kilometers. We divided the entire stretch into 7 contracts to make sure it was fast-tracked. 3 out of those 7 is complete, 100%. Then the other 3 contracts, 4, 5, and 6, on average about 80% complete. The final one, we're doing a new road altogether from a place called Lokicha to Amosing, where we are right now. Yes. And that is a new road altogether, which we are doing tarmac. And with that, the completion will be around March next year. And therefore, this area will be accessible now all the way from Leseru, from now, 100% motorable. But then we are not stopping there. We are starting also with a project from here, Lokicha, all the way to the border with Southern Sudan, to a place called Nakadob, where we are going to spend about 31 billion shillings with the support of our partners like the World Bank, African Development Bank, and that contracts have been awarded, and the work will be starting very, very shortly. As you can see now, the connectivity will be enhanced. The economic value of this region will be enhanced, and I think development will come very, very quickly thereafter.
All right. And finally, CS, we've also been having slight challenges with the LAPPSET project, and now that you're seeing the Turkana fields coming to life, what does this mean for LAPPSET?
Well, LAPPSET is the next frontier for development. We have the Northern Corridor, which starts from Mombasa, Nairobi to Kisumu, Malaba, very developed. That's a line taken by SGR. But we also have now LAPPSET, which is very critical. That is the corridor for the future. And to make sure that we actualize development, we have started with the port of Lamu. The first 3 berths will be completed by September this year, the first berth. Then we are doing the roads. The road from Lamu to Garissa, all the way to Isiolo, a distance of 530 kilometers. Already contracts have been negotiated, and work will start very shortly. And so when you reach Isiolo, of course, one route goes towards Moyale, Ethiopia. The other route goes towards southern Sudan. The one going to Moyale, is complete, and it has reduced the travel times by about 3 days. The one now from Isiolo, coming to here to Lakicho, designs have been done for that road. And when you reach Lakicho, then you can now go to Nakadop, which is a border with southern Sudan. As you can see now, that now will be the LAPPSET corridor. And with that, it will attract a lot of investments. A lot of business people are asking about the same question. They want to bring hotels. As you know, there are co-plants, planned along the way. We have resource cities. And with that, I think you're going to see a lot of development in the next 2 or 3 years.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Well, that is the Cabinet Secretary for Transport and Infrastructure speaking to us really on some of the key issues surrounding these particular oil fields. And he's also very categorical, saying the future holds a lot of promise for the country. Well, reporting from Lokicha here in Turkana County, my name is Abi Ageda.
Well, quite an insightful look there at events, of course, in the northern parts of Kenya, and really to speak into development over the coming few months, over the coming few years, the medium term, and of course the long term, with a view towards opening up trade within the region and right across Africa. We now want to go on a short commercial break. But on the other side, just how do you keep track of all these projects that government is running? Well, to speak to us about exactly that, an expert in studio. He, of course, is Director of, Monitoring and Evaluation in the State Department of Planning. This, of course, is Dr. Samson Machuka. He is here in studio with us. He'll be speaking to us right after the break. You don't want to miss that, so stay with us here on KTN News.